The night that changed everything. I was just 15 years old, and my best friend Anthony had invited me over for a sleepover since his parents would be away for the weekend. We spent the evening playing video games, snacking on junk food, and watching half a movie before getting bored and moving on to prank calls. It was during one of those calls that things took a dark turn. I dialed a random number, hoping to reach someone at home, but instead got a deep, rough voice on the other end. Anthony's laughter in the background made me stumble, and I ended up cracking up too. The guy on the other end, whose name was Bob, seemed unfazed. But it was his response to my question that sent a chill down my spine. "Really, you sure it's not Anthony?" I looked up at Anthony, whose face had turned white with fear. We quickly ended the call, and Anthony suggested we research how Bob could have gotten his name from the phone number. But no one had an answer. As we were trying to figure it out, we heard the sound of the front door opening, and a tall figure appeared in the doorway. Anthony's TV was still on, and I was frozen in fear. We hid in the kitchen, listening as the figure moved around the house. Anthony urged me to run and shut the back door, but I was paralyzed with fear. The figure stepped inside, and I tiptoed to the kitchen, motioning for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We hid under his bed, holding our breath as the footsteps echoed above us. It felt like an eternity before the figure moved away, and we crawled out from under the bed. We made a run for it, diving into the woods behind Anthony's house. We could hear the figure following us, but we didn't dare look back. We hid behind a bush, watching as the figure scanned the tree line. I felt his eyes pass over me, and my heart was racing. We finally made it back to Anthony's house, where we barricaded ourselves inside. The rest of the night was a blur. We called the police, and Anthony stayed on the line while I patrolled the windows. But when I turned on the backyard lights, I saw the figure standing by the woods, watching us. We never saw him again, and 5 years have passed without any further incidents. But that night had a profound effect on me. I became more cautious, more paranoid. I started to wonder if there was a connection between the prank call and the mysterious figure. And I couldn't shake the feeling that our lives had been forever changed. Years later, I would find myself in another strange situation. I was at my friend Paul's house, exhausted and stressed out from an argument with my wife. Paul offered me a place to stay for the night, and I gratefully accepted. We had a few beers and watched some TV, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I heard strange noises coming from one of the guest rooms, and I decided to investigate. Paul told me he always keeps the doors locked, but I warned him that I had heard strange noises. He dismissed it, and I went back to bed. But the noises continued. I heard a faint tap on the wall, followed by a voice. I jolted up from bed and ran to Paul's room, where he finally took me seriously. We unlocked the door and found a black figure jumping out the window. We gave chase, but it was too late. When we returned to the room, we found a scene of horror: blood-stained sheets, a butcher knife, and Paul's missing belongings. It turned out that a group of homeless and likely dangerous drug addicts had been living in the house for weeks. Paul was shaken, and we never found out what happened to them. But the experience left a lasting impact on me. As I reflect on those 2 nights, I am reminded of the fragility of life. The unknown can be terrifying, but it can also be a reminder of the importance of human connection. My friendship with Anthony has endured through the years, and we still talk about that fateful night. And while I will never forget the terror I felt, I am grateful for the lessons I learned.